I'm Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Orange Coast College for the presentation of Urinetown the Musical.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. You're?
I'm Dr. Anne Marie Bird, the director of Urinetown the Musical at Orange Coast College. Urinetown is a very upbeat, satirical musical comedy, and it satirizes many different kinds of musicals over the history of musicals. So it's a story about a sort of a metaphorical town in which they have had a 20-year drought and there's a wattage shortage, and so therefore the people, they have to pay to urinate. It becomes a privilege to urinate because water is now a public amenity instead of a private amenity. So the story goes that a young hero, Bobby Strong, rises up and tries to save the people, and in the process he captures the heart of the evil villain's daughter in the play. It's absolutely hilarious. It's very broad, farcical kind of humor, tremendous choreography and dancing by Alan Prince, absolutely beautiful music direction by Jared Scott, and a fantastic performance from actors, young actors, and that are here at Orange Coast College, as well as a number of people that are from the greater community. So we have a pretty broad audience and a good representation of actors on the stage. I think audiences will really enjoy it.
So what do you look for in your casting?
Wow. When we cast in a musical, it's kind of a triumvirate of directors. So when we have an actor come in, we look at their ability to sing. Of course, singing is terribly important in a musical. Their ability and their skill at dance, but also their ability as actors. So, in an ideal universe, it would be the best possible performer would be what we call a triple threat, that they're coming in with strength in all three of those areas. However, this is also a learning institution. So oftentimes the students may have a weakness in one area rather, they're not strong in all three. So what we're providing is not just a beautiful finished theatrical product, but real training to the students to help them get stronger in whatever area that they're weak. So those are really the core three elements, but and that doesn't really mean that they have to be perfect when they walk in the door. It's a learning process.
How would you compare this to, say, community theater or professional theater, where someone would say, sorry, this guy just isn't good enough for us, we just can't use him, opposed to you, which would be a student, and well, we got to teach them something, let's give them a chance here or there, maybe they'll blossom, maybe they'll develop. How would you compare the two?
Well, for us, again, this is an educational institution, so we don't expect the students to be perfect when they walk in the door. Our expectation is that they have some skills from taking classes, and such as from someone such as myself. I'm a theater professor, so we know that they have some skills coming in, but we look at the process of creating the show as a learning experience that we expect them to get better. So our approach is they could start at a medium to sort of a medium skill level, and if we can move them up a step or two, we're doing a hell of a job in the program. Whereas when you are in a professional theater or even a regional theater, the expectation is that they're coming in at a very high level and that they're going to perform continuously at a very high level, and they aren't necessarily going through a learning curve. That there's, if you want to say somewhat perfect when they walk in the door. But it's different than that here. We are all about growing. We're all about learning and growing.
Actually, when I compare community theater with, say, educational theater, such as this, actually it's usually not that bad. Usually I've seen bad community theater, but I've never seen bad educational theater because there usually is some kind of standard that they had to at least pass a class.
Absolutely. And these students are enrolled in the course. So I'm their director, but I'm their professor as well. And they do have a syllabus. We have learning outcomes. They know specifically what is expected of them. They turn in written work. We do character study analyses. It is a very detailed process that happens over a period of 8 weeks. It's involved. And we study the script and we study the characters and we work one-on-one. I coach my actors individually, not just as a large group. We're actually going and coach individuals and work on their character development. So for us, it's we're providing training and it's training that is very individualized and very structured. Community theater is a completely different ball game. You're bringing in people that aren't necessarily trained, and our students are being trained. They're being trained in the classroom, and they're being trained in the process of putting on the musical production or the play. So, but I mean, I have very positive things to say about community theater. I've been involved in community theater all over the place for many years. Like you, I've seen community productions that were very, very weak, and I've seen productions that were just outstanding, that ranked with Lort theaters, in regional theater. It really depends. But I think a lot of that has to do with what is the goal. For us, the process is really more important than the product. For community theater, the goal is to bring in people from the community into a creative process, and maybe the product isn't that important. And maybe it's just having the experience of working with other actors and doing something creative, whether or not you have a basic skill set, and sometimes they don't. So that's how I would look at it, is it's a difference in what their goals are as a theater.
Well, I enjoyed this performance.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad that you did.
All right, and thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Michael Mayo. I'm a UCI student. I'm a major in drama as well as psychology and social behavior, so I have two majors. I played Bobby Strong. Yeah, Bobby Strong is basically the revolutionary of the story, and he is fighting for freedom for the people of the land.
What are your experiences in this performance?
It's a very challenging role vocally, I would say, because it's a very, very high energy, all of that. But it's really fun to play. I'm having a blast. I've played this role before at Saddleback Community College a couple of years ago, so it's really interesting to revisit that.
So what kind of emotions do you bring to this? 'Cause again, I know it is a bit of a farce, it is a bit of a comedy, but again, there are some serious points in here. So how do you know to basically keep the serious and the comedy?
Well, the comedy is basically written for you, so you don't really have to do anything other than be truthful. So as long as you're being truthful and real, that's actually what's funny, in juxtaposition with the writing. So, yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Lauren Penna. I work at Disneyland. I'm a parade performer. I graduated from UCR 2 years ago with a degree in creative writing. I'm a playwright.
And which character did you play?
Hope Cladwell. Hope Cladwell is the daughter of the owner of a big corporation that controls all of the public restrooms. And she falls in love with the revolutionary and then gets kidnapped and then ends up leading all the people.
Great. So what do you think of the play Urinetown?
I've loved the show. I saw it on Broadway when it first opened, and then I saw a tour of it. It's my favorite show ever, and it's super hilarious. I've wanted to play Hopes forever, so yeah, it's my favorite.
So basically for you, what kind of emotion did you bring into it? I mean, your character seemed to be a bit of a cartoon character, a caricature. What do you think about that?
I think she's really ditzy. I took a lot from Enchanted, Giselle from Enchanted. I just tried to make her super princessy and kind of spastic.
All right, well, I think you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Hi, I'm Simon Hedrick. I played Officer Lockstock in the musical Urinetown. I am 23 years old, and I've been going to OCC for quite a few semesters now, and this is my fourth main stage show here, and I am absolutely loving it. Officer Lockstock is a very complicated character because he is the narrator as well as the enforcer of the antagonist. So you love him, but you want to hate him, and you're pulled back and forth between those two emotions the entire show, which makes him so interesting to see and even more interesting to play, just because he has so much to play with, and he's just an absolute joy to play. I'm having a lot of fun.
What are your thoughts on Urinetown?
I think it's a really, really great piece just because, well, not just because, but because of the drought that we're going through right now. You know, it has some very, very good political significance for our time and any time in general, because we really should be conscious of water consumption. But beyond that, I think it's a very, very funny show. It has a lot of really, really great songs in it, awesome dance numbers. It's just, I love it, personally.
I enjoyed it myself. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for being here.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I'm John Korbonsky. A few years ago, I entered a vocal competition, got to sing at Carnegie Hall, which was great. And then I started doing musicals and have done stuff kind of all around this area. A bunch of different shows, different theaters. I was Caldwell B. Cladwell, the evil man. Cladwell's the man who basically shut down using the restroom and started charging people and started controlling the water supply. So he controls everything, bribes everybody, kills people, you know, the usual stuff.
Actually, I liked villains. Your villains seem more of a cartoon and all that. But again, how do you handle that? Did you just play it cartoonish, or did you try to bring some kind of introspective to it?
This was a tough one because the show is so ridiculous and over the top that if you're not over the top, it would kind of fall flat. I think we had some evil stuff in there, but he kind of snaps and goes a little nuts, you know, so the over the top kind of fits when he goes completely psychotic, so that's what we did.
Yeah, I really liked your character. I really thought you just nailed it really well.
Great, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right, thanks for being on the show.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I am Tristan Dyer. Well, I am 24. I've done a bunch of shows, but I just finished I'm in the process of finishing Urinetown. I am Officer Barrel. He is a police officer. He's one of the two police officers that's in charge of enforcing the regulations of the town in distress. And he has a pretty big secret that he's harboring.
You actually impressed me. You're very good dancer for a man of your size.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been dancing for a while, so.
Okay, you also look a little out of character. You look more like someone who'd be doing hip hop, someone who'd be dancing like that.
Right. Yeah, I do a lot of hip hop. It's dance. I love dance.
Do you love this type of musical, or would you rather be doing hip hop?
No. I mean, I grew up doing musical theater, so I've always loved musical theater. Hip hop is fun, but my heart's in musical theater always.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
No problem. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I'm Joseph Williams. I go to Orange Coast College. I was Mr. McQueen in the production of Urinetown. I'm a 20-year-old. I'm going to be 21 in July. I've done a lot of theater since my high school. I'm a musical theater major, so of course I'm studying this. I'm going through this, really focusing on it. Love theater. It's a great experience, especially this show. It's a satire of everything. It's a great comedy. It's a fantastic experience. I've been doing theater for so long that I've seen quite a few things, and going through this experience, or the show particularly, has made it all that much more rewarding because it's just such a fun show. I actually did the same show in high school, and I played a different character, so going through it in a different role has been really interesting.
So what was your process to get into this role?
Into this role, as into my character? Well, what I did was I have a journal, an acting journal, and I wrote 2.5 pages of just backstory for my character. I wrote who his parents were, what his name was, how old he was, everything I could to make sure that he was fleshed out and that he had everything about him. And he's not a very big role, but as much as I could, as much detail as I could for the character to give him personality and give him motivation for his actions on stage. And so everything I do on stage has some sort of motivation, something that's driving it.
Right, so how detailed, I'm curious of this journal. Did you say, his mother beat him, or did you just say, his father just said you're no good? What did you write in the journal?
I haven't gotten that particularly into detail, at least with the parents. I wrote a lot about how he perceives his surroundings and how he perceives what's going on around him, what he thinks about other characters in the show, how he behaves around them, what his behavior is motivated by. When his parents die, a lot of his actions are motivated by his parents' death, and a lot of what he does is driven by that, where he grew up as a child, that kind of thing. Specifics in mostly how he behaves around other people, because I feel like when I'm on stage, that's what's going to be the most present thing. And then I use the more generalized backstory to motivate those reactions and those motivations.
Wow, thank you very much. I really enjoyed your character.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Chase Levar. I am 19 years old. I go to OCC, and I play the part of Phip in the production Urine. Senator Phip is pretty much Cladwell's jockey, kind of. He's like his servant, kind of. He's the one that starts the whole fee hikes, and it's because of him that the poor is revolting, and he's an old man, practically. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the musical?
Oh, I love the musical. It's a great musical. It has a lot of humor, seriousness, some parts, but mainly a comedy. But I love the musical.
Okay, so thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
My name is Ricardo Flores. I'm 19 years old. This is my second semester here at OCC. This is actually my first production here. It was like main stage production. I played Tiny Tom and Dr. Below. Tiny Tom is a youngster. He's a poor. He's a member of the poor community. He's really scared. Like he's young, naive. He's scared all the time. Like he doesn't really know what's going on, and he's really young and naive, basically. And Dr. Below is the main researcher and scientist of the UGC Urine Company in Cladwell's company, and he's basically extremely loyal to Cladwell. He just does whatever he says, but really he's not really doing much research because that's all a lie to like keep the poor in check. They're doing just random experiments.
So what do you think of the play Urinetown?
Oh, it's so much fun. It's amazing. The music is incredible, all the dancing and everything. It's like the source material is extremely relevant right now too. It's like with the drought and everything. It's just overall funny and with a little dark side of it too. It's just awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, I enjoyed the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Zachary Diamond. I've been in over 30 plays. I don't really need to go down the list. I've done productions with companies such as OCC, OCCT. I've done it with APA in Huntington. I've gone with OSHA. I've done various productions, various production companies. I've been doing it all my life. I've been doing it since I was 6 years old. I love it. I played Hot Plates Harry in Old Man Strong. Old Man Strong is the protagonist, Bobby Strong's father. He is the first person to rebel. He kind of kickstarts the rebellion. Hot Plates Harry, he is a deranged killer with a purpose.
Actually, I was very impressed by your acting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and you've done this since you were 6? Tell me, when you were 6, how do you know that you can act? Was it something your parents just asked you to do, or something you really want to do?
I love movies as a kid. I really did. And I just looked at it when I was really young, and I said, I want to do that. My mom acted a lot of her life. She acted all throughout college and way younger in her life as well. So she already knew of places that I could take classes, things like that. She never suggested it to me. I said I wanted to do it, and she set me up. Ever since I started doing it, I just felt like I belonged there. And so it's just been a place that has always given me greater purpose, greater passion, and it's always just made life more interesting. So I've just continued with it my whole life.
I've always been curious about this. Do you think actors are just born differently? But there's something about you that you were born an actor? What's your comments on that?
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. I do believe there's certain characteristics that picks out the people that are really good and really not the best when it comes to training, because I've seen some people that just can't be trained to be good actors, honestly. I mean, that comes with certain ways you're brought up, just certain, it takes a really outgoing, charismatic person to be able to get up there and do what they do and do it well, you know what I mean? But it's all in the process, how committed you are, how seriously you take it, what your process is. It's all about how you envelop yourself into a character and how you broadcast that for other people.
So you as a child, again, I've also heard stories about child actors, so they're all like different strokes. They all wind up dying or something like that. But what do you think? What's your secret? How did you keep a level head about it?
See, it's never been a struggle for me. So honestly, I don't know how to answer that question for you, because what it is acting for me hasn't been a place of stress. It's been a place of peace. Acting is the one thing that I do that I love, that I feel when I'm at home, when I'm up on stage, I feel like that's just where I'm meant to be. Honestly, it's always been that way. So I really don't know how to quite answer that question, honestly.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. You're?
Montana, Galloway. I'm 19. I go to Orange Coast College. We just did the musical Urinetown. I played 3 characters. I was Mrs. Millennium, who's one of the rich people. I played a pregnant poor person by the name of Little Becky Two Shoes, and I also played a cop.
So what do you think of the musical Urinetown?
It's one of those things that's like a satire of every single thing ever. So true musical theater kids are one to enjoy it because a lot of the jokes in it are about other musical theater pieces. So if you know your musicals, you're just going to enjoy yourself. And even if you don't, there's a lot of jokes in it that just make everyone happy and laugh. So I really enjoy doing it.
Great. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Have a nice night.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I am Miranda Leonard. I played Soupy Sue and Cladwell's secretary. I've been acting my whole life. I auditioned for Urinetown. I'm a first-year college student. This is my first year at OCC, and I plan to go to PCPA next year. I'm auditioning, so that'll be fun.
What do you think of Urinetown?
It's a really funny show. I wish we got to perform it on a bigger stage. We could have done a lot more with it, and I kind of wish we had a bigger cast. But overall, it was a lot of fun. It's super funny. I would definitely recommend it for pretty much everybody.
All right, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Hello, I'm Hannah. I've done about 12 shows. This is my 7th musical, though, and I have a real passion for it, so it's a lot of fun. I wasn't originally supposed to be in the cast, and they late casted me, which was a really big opportunity for me since this is my first musical in college, so I was really excited to get the opportunity. I played Betty Bow Shufflebottom. She's just ensemble. I had about a couple lines, but I had a lot of dancing that I had to do, which was a lot of fun.
So what kind of challenges go on when you're actually, say you were an understudy? I assume you were just an understudy and you got dragged on.
I was not an understudy. I wasn't even on the cast list, and then they called me up and put me in. So
how much time do you have to prepare for something like that?
They called me on Sunday and said, "Can you be at rehearsal on Monday?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll drop everything and get there."
So, what was going through your mind? Were you excited? Were you scared?
I was pretty excited. I was at my birthday dinner when I got the call, so it was kind of like a little birthday present for the cast.
So, is that your attitude in acting? If someone calls me, I'm going to drop everything and just go?
Yeah, otherwise you miss out on so many opportunities. You got to be available. They want the people who are ready to do whatever they have to be in the show. If you have to miss a birthday party, a funeral, a wedding to do the show, you do it. I actually missed my twin brother's military graduation, which was today in Georgia, to be in the production.
So basically, if someone in New York says, quit your job, you're going to be on a Broadway play, you would do that?
Yeah, I would. It's a great opportunity. It looks great on a resume, and that's better than any job I'd be working, because this is what I want to live with my life, and Broadway is the goal. So,
all right. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Urinetown will be playing at Orange Coast College from May 8th to May 17th. For more information, go to theorangecurtainrev.com or search for AMB Theatre on Facebook.